friends. So this is part 4 of this video where we're going over this 1-3 emotional generators chart, and we're focusing on their relationship to routine as they find it hard to establish them. My main focus was gate 5 in all of this, but we are actually going over the channels. In the last video I went over the channels for from the sacral to the G center, because they have 3 channels, which says a lot in my opinion. And so, like, let's talk about some of the other defined centers, right? When we're thinking about the routine and we're thinking about, you know, establishing them, what I feel like is the foundation of this whole chart and this individual's makeup and design is that you are meant to live in flow, right? You're meant to live in flow in the sense that, like, your inner guidance, your inner compass will guide you and let you know what is a yes for you, what is a no for you, what you should engage in, what you shouldn't engage in. This is not about being inflexible, because your sacral is going to let you know if the timing is right for whatever that routine or thing is. And it's not just engaging in stuff for the sake of engaging, for the sake of people pleasing, for the sake of checking a box, a checklist. It does not care about that, right? Like, that does not. I say this very often, like, I just believe that the things that us as humans believe in this world, that source does not care about that. The creator does not care about it as much as we think it matters. It does. I don't think it does. And some of those things is like all these rules and regulations about what it means to be human and how it has to look. I don't buy into it. And part of that reason is probably because I think that we're all designed with our own inner compass to let us know what is aligned for us, and what might work for you may not work for me, and what might work for me may not work for you. And don't even get me started on science. So that's a whole other story. So let's talk about the divine G center. Look at y'all, not going tangent. It's not my fault. This is how I'm designed. And I love it. Let's talk about the G center. All right, so with a defined G center, this is someone who knows who they are. They are designed to know who they are, but they can second guess when environments like work or their friends group just don't reflect that, right? Where they just don't feel seen in it. But your routine has to feel true to your identity. It's connected. It's moving up. The energy is moving up. So it has to feel true to your identity. And not like a task, or like you're trying to fix yourself, or, like I said, a checklist. With this defined ego or the heart center, I feel like I'm doing it. Yeah. With this defined, I also, listen, y'all, I'm telling y'all, between this, the fact that these are connected, and like they're not connected to any other, it splits in all the other defined centers, right? This is a split because these two defined, sorry y'all, now I'm teaching y'all something random. These two defined centers, the root and the emotional, they're connected, right? But they're not connected to the other 3 defined centers. So that's a split. So those centers are not talking to each other. But baby, that G center, that heart center, and that sacral are communicating. They are constantly. So I know that this person is designed to just be grounded in their own inner guidance. They are just designed to be consistent in a knowingness of what lights them up, where they're heading, you know, having the will to go there, having the drive to get there. You know what I mean? To, like, they're just set up, and it's like such a powerful energy. Okay, so the defined G center, I already talked about that. With the ego or the heart center, as I call it, you have consistent willpower, but only for the things that you truly value. Okay? So if you're trying to force a routine around something that doesn't feel aligned, your will won't show up, right? Your energy for that won't show up. Remember, the heart center is also a motor center, but it's a motor center in its own right. But you still also have that sacral. So sure, like I said before, you can push and force yourself to do a million things. Go ahead. But is it going to be sustainable? Will it feel good? Will it feel satisfying? That is the question. And so with this root center defined, and that's its bottom one, you have a natural pressure to get things done. But it may not align with your emotional timing or your sacral availability. Remember, the sacral turns on when you are excited about stuff. When you are lit up. When it is a true yay. That's when it lights up. So you may feel this pressure. I need to do this. I need to do that. So I guess I would ask, like, where is the desire for these routines coming from? What are they rooted in? Do you truly believe you need this routine? Is there another routine that feels more aligned for you? Have you considered what else you can do in place of the routines you already heard about? Is there a routine that you specifically that just feels good for you, that maybe you haven't thought about yet? Or maybe you have thought about it, but you just feel like, it won't work. I never seen it work. Maybe you should try it out. Okay, so like I said, you have a natural pressure to get things done with this, right? The root center is a pressure center. So it's also a motor, but it's a pressure center. So you have that pressure to get things done. But it may not align with your emotional timing, right? Because we got to wait for that emotional clarity from your emotional authority. And then that sacral energy, because you are a generator. And that sacral availability. Is the sacral turned on? Is that motor running? That's that life force energy. Is it on? Is it running? So you'll feel guilty for not doing when really the energy just isn't there. I'm telling you, my experience with the sacral is like, there's something about this sacral energy that will tell you when it's ready. That will tell you, hey, I'm ready to go. That will tell you the energy is right and we ready to go. We lit. And so I also talked to this individual, and like one of the things they mentioned was like their routine with their dog. And like the playtime around the dog, where, it just, I'm sure it's fun, where she said like they're really fun and it makes her feel happy just to see the dogs grow, whatever, right? I'm like, I would need to put all the details in here, but they'll know what I'm talking about when they hear this. So that's how your design works. I feel like that is a great example of how your design works. It's spontaneous devotion, joy-driven consistency, aligned commitment to another being's freedom, and emotional satisfaction. Okay? That's how your routine wants to show up. And so this is really like a matter of you sitting, like, I hope like this resonates and like you can see yourself in the messages that I've shared, and that maybe it'll just, because it's not about it being correct or me knowing the answer, but it's about, does it wake something up in you for you to start questioning it and being curious, and for you to see what it is you need. Because we don't care about any of this information being right. Is it helping you, right? Is it supporting you? That's why I like for people to ask me specific questions, because is it actually like helpful for the season of your life you're in? So I think for you, instead of thinking like I need to get better at routine, it's like, what rhythms naturally arise for you when you're emotionally aligned, energized by what you're doing, and devoted to something you care about. Like, what wants to come up? What are you guided to? What are you pulled towards? What do you want to say yes to? And so I think for your design, it's not about you having a forced structure, but with that gate 5 energy, I knew that gate 5 was somewhere. I knew it. I felt it. Okay. With that gate 5 energy and all these channels, I cannot get over your channels with this G center, because it says so much just about how you're just meant to be you, and how like your direction and your guidance come from your own inner world, and like nothing outside of you will be able to tell you who you are and what you need, because you can't use external pressure to get things done for you. It's not going to be sustainable, and you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be satisfied. You're not going to be in your flow. Like, you're magical. We all are, but like that magic is only seen and turned on when we are in alignment with our own truth, right? Our own design, our own makeup. So your routine is meant to be alive, embodied, and aligned. When you try to discipline yourself from a place of resistance or obligation, your body's just is like, no, that's not how your sacral works. It has to matter to you. But when you're lit up, like when you're playing with your dog, your consistency with